All right then. So now what we need to do is we have to create a new project folder over here named as 8UI, and I'm going to change this into index.html. Create a new folder over here called CSS. Create a new file in it called styles.css. And inside the index.html, generate the boilerplate codes and bring the link dot slash css styles.css. And basically we are going to create a rating systems. Like you can see the different stars, so the user can select the stars like with a kind of cool animation stuffs and everything, right? So we are going to create a simple rating stuff, animation stuffs, right? So for that we need to have a star svg. So I just designed the star over here, or you can simply go to font awesome, choose these stars, and you can copy the svg code, put it back inside over it. Okay, so that's exactly what we are going to do now. So I'm going to create myself dot ratings over here. Okay, dot ratings. And inside the rating, basically it's going to be an input. So we need to bring an input that needs to be a radio button. So change it into radio button, and I'm going to give an id which is going to be star hyphen one, or star one, simply something like that. Let's keep it a star hyphen one. Okay, then I'm going to give the name as equals to star hyphen radio button, radio. Then I need to supply the value which is going to be star hyphen one. That's the thing. Then right after here, I'm going to create a label, and for what we are creating, for that particular id star hyphen one. And inside this label, this is the place where you need to bring that svg code. So all you have to do is to right click and go here, copy and paste, as just copy the svg and put it straight away over here. Okay, so I'm just going to now um, mm, mm, okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste this and change the name stuff and everything. Okay, so let me bring that one after, let's copy and paste one after another. So first we need to bring the input tag, right? So we have to bring the input. So I'm gonna bring that right after here. Right after this, I'm gonna bring that input star2 and change this value into star2. Then we need to bring the label along with the svg. Let's bring that label along with the svg. So label, which is going to be star2, and that's the man you need to map it for perfectly for that id. So copy this. We need to bring 5 different stars input, and wherever I do have this hyphen 2, change the values into hyphen 3, paste it. Oh, paste it, hyphen 5, save it. Let's get back over here, refresh it, get into the 8UI, and you should able to see an input, a star, input, a star, like 5 different stars. That's how it exactly looked like. Then let's get into the styles.css, and all we have to do is to just change the structure and write these styles over here. So for that, before jumping into it, I'm just going to say remove margin 0, padding as a 0, and box sizing, which is going to be border box. Save it. Then body, which is going to be display 100 viewport, sorry, not width, which is going to be 100 viewport width, height, which is going to be 100 viewport height. Display needs to be flex and bring vertically and the horizontally in the center locations. And the background color, which is going to be hash 8. Perfect. Now we need to target the ratings. And before targeting the ratings, I need to create the root variables. So let's create the root variables. For stroke, I'm going to say hash 666. That's the color I'm going to use. Then I'm going to say hyphen hyphen fill, which is going to be ff hash ff c73a. That's the color code that we are going to use for the fill effect. Okay, which is perfectly fine for the start color. Then we need to target this rating, where it is, copy this rating, copy it, dot rating, open it. And here I'm going to simply say display flex, so everything will be in this flex direction, and the flex direction needs to be in a reverse directions, row reverse direction. Okay, then gap between them is going to be 0.3 rem. So oops, gap needs to be 0.3 rem. Now I have enough gap over there. Then what I need to do is inside the rating I do have this input tags. So I don't want to see the appearance, so I'm just going to say appearance unset, right? So I don't see that appearance anymore. Now I need to target the ratings. Inside the ratings I do have this label tag, which it should have the pointer cursor. Then inside the rating I do have this svg tag, so I need to create an svg, give a width and height. So for that I'm just going to say 2 rem, and height which is going to be 2 rem. Save it. So you should be able to see this chart. And overflow, basically it needs to be overflow, it needs to be visible. Okay, then what I need to do is I just need to say fill it into a transparent layer. Now I can't see it, but I need to adjust the stroke level. So let's say stroke, which is equals to variable stroke. Okay, now I can see the stroke. Then I just need to add the stroke line join, sorry, not line cap, line join. So it needs to be B1, not a round one. It needs to be B1. Now we can see it's having a quite different layout of stroke. Then stroke dash array, it needs to 12. Okay, something like that. You can see the differentiations now. Okay, then I need to add the animations. So animations, which is equals to, it's going to be idle, and it needs to be 4 seconds, and it needs to be linear, and it needs to run infinite. Okay, then what I need to do, I need to add the transitions, which is equals to stroke 0.2 seconds. Then for the fill effect, I need to add the animations as 0.5 seconds. Okay, now we can see the nice smoothing animations over there. See, that's the difference. Then next we need to target the ideal animation keyframe. So let's say add keyframes and ideal, open it. So from, I need to say stroke offset dash offset, it just needs to be the 24 positions. Okay, that's the ideal position. Then I need to target the dot rating, go get into the label. Whenever I'm hovering it, I need to target the svg, open it. I just need to adjust the stroke. Whenever I'm hovering it, I need to adjust the stroke with the fill color. Now if you check it out, if I hover it, I can see the color is changing into the this. And if you wish to change the fill effect as well as, you can change the fill effect as well as. So whenever the user hovers it, you can choose what kind of colors that you want. Pretty much good. Then what I need to do is right after here, I need to make sure the input is checked. If the input is checked, then the color needs to be set for the SVG. So what I need to do is dot rating inside. I do have this input. If that input is checked in that situation, then I need to say label, which is going to be SVG, open it. So I'm just going to say transitions into 0 seconds because I don't want that smooth transition at that point. If the user clicks it, it needs to be selected immediately. Then for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the animations. So animation, which is going to be ideal 4 seconds. It needs to be idle for 4 seconds. Use this idle for 4 seconds. Then it needs to be linear infinite. Along with this, I'm going to set one more, which is going to be EP, like zooming and fade out animations. So 0.75 seconds backwards. Okay, we need to write the animation EP. Then it needs to be fill, open it, fill. It's going to use the fill effect. Then the stroke, which is going to be variable fill. So the stroke opacity is going to be 0. I don't want to see that. Then stroke dash array, which is going to be 0. Then stroke line join, which is going to be mitre or mitre. Stroke width, which is going to be 8 pixels. Now if the user clicks this, this is how the start looks like. So you can see the differentiation between these two, right? Perfect. which is pretty much enough. Then what we need to do right after here, we need to target, we need to write these styles for this EP animations. So let's say at keyframes EP, open it. So here on 0%, it needs to be transform scale level into 100. Then fill effect needs to be a variable fill. Then we need to say fill opacity, it needs to be 0. Then stroke opacity, it needs to be 1. Then stroke color needs to be variable stroke. Then the stroke dash array, that needs to be 10 points. Stroke width needs to be 1 pixels. And stroke line join, that needs to be bevel again. Okay, now if I click this, see, you can see that differentiation, right? It's somehow that's looking so cool. Look at that. So we need to add some few more stuff on. It's animating only on 0%, so we need to animate it on 30%. So on 30%, what I need to do, I need to say transform scale level into 0% now this time. And then fill effect needs to be fill. And then stroke opacity, which is needs to be 0. And sorry, not stroke opacity is 0. Stroke opacity needs to be 1. Fill opacity, that needs to be 0. And right after that, stroke and everything, it's just exactly the same thing it's going to be. So I'm going to bring that over here. Okay, then 30 out of 1%, which means 30.1%, it needs to start stroke, that needs to be variable fill effect. Then stroke dash array, that needs to be 0 point. Then stroke line join, that needs to be meter. And stroke width, which is going to be 8 pixels. Okay, now let's see how does it looks like. If I click this, see, you can see it's having that cool scale up and scale down animation stuffs and everything. That's pretty much good. Next, we need to target the 60% over here. Out of 60%, I'm just going to say transform scale into 1.2. It needs to scale down and it needs to scale up instantly, so I can see that cool changes. Okay, now that's pretty much good. This is the initial, let me refresh it. This is the initial look. So if I click this, look at that. See, it looks like the star is blasting out, right? It's scaling down and instantly on the top of it, it is just blasting out. If I click all the 5 stars, look at that, what is happening. See, that's kind of cool looking rating star animations that we can just create by using a simple SVG and by using the input tags and by using the native CSS. And that's really cool. So we successfully create a clean and classic and materialistic rating system. Let's go. Let's move on to the next section.